Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's been a week, hasn't been that long. I've just been so caught up in just being well and making sure that I am well. My name is MsNoBuntu D.I.V.A.A, divinely inspired, vibrantly anointed artist. I wanted to come back here to share a message with you about the kind of people you should beware of, or that you should keep out of your life. I'm trying to make sure that I'm not looking down at you. So I'm trying to elevate this angle. Beware of people who rely on you to be in a needy, in a inadequate, in a lacking state in order for them to feel useful to you, in order for them to be in friendship with you, in order for them to be in companionship or walk a walk with you. Beware of people who need you to be in lack in order to be good with you. These people do not want the best for you. These people do not want you to break free from the hold of arrested development. They require you to be in arrested development in order for them to be needed by you, in order for them to therefore be able to exercise power over you, control you, and push you around in your life. These people, beware of them. Anybody who does not want you to break free from oppression, from suppression, from lack, from inadequacy, is using you and requires you to be under all these things in order to feel good, in order to feel useful, in order to feel like they have a purpose. Beware of these people. These people don't have goodwill towards you. These people have ill will towards you. Your ascension is a threat to them. Your getting better, your betterment is a threat to them. When you knew better, you did better is a threat to them. When you improve and get better and work better and move better because you now know better, it's a threat to them. Beware of people who don't want you to break free from what you didn't know better, and require you to be there in order to be in a walk with you. It is a controlling and manipulative spirit that is on them. It is an oppressive spirit that is on them. It is a jealous and envious and covetous spirit on them. These spirits that I've just mentioned, these are spirits that don't want to see you free. These are spirits that don't want to see you progress. These are spirits that don't want to see you ascend into a greater self, into your full potential, unleashed, unlocked, and your reality. And not just only potential, but a reality that you live. These are spirits that need your inadequacy and your lack in order to operate in their assignment and in their activity fully and have fulfilled their assignment, because that's what they're supposed to do. These spirits are supposed to keep you in lack, in arrested development, in oppression, in no progress, in poverty, in lack. And so when you rise up out of that and you gather strength from God, and you take your place on the rock, that is the rock of ages, and you say, change me, oh God. I'm going to stand right here on your word. I'm going to stand right here on the rock, and I'm going to need you to change me in order to be catapulted to the thing that you had in mind when you breathed life into me, when you formed me in my mother's womb. Then the assignment is annulled, begins to be annulled bit by bit. The moment you change the course of your life for betterment, the assignment of these spirits becomes annulled. These spirits are working towards through certain people in your life, through certain people who are jealous, who are envious, and who don't want to see you pass them and surpass them, their progress, right? And so once you rise up, the assignment there's breaches in the walls of that assignment. It becomes to disintegrate and fall apart. It begins to unravel because its stronghold gets loosened now. You getting up, you putting you putting your back into some things, and you starting to make moves, and you know better, so you starting to do better and move better and plan better and navigate better, and so your life improves. The assignment then is facing threat. Its stronghold gets weakened. And beware of people who, when you begin to do better, because now you know better, when you begin to move better and navigate better and make better decisions, go to take different better directions, wise directions, and take wise steps. When you begin to do these things, beware of people who get mad at you when you start moving in a more wisdom informed way. Beware of people like that, because these people have that spirit on them that is jealous, that doesn't want to see you exceed them and excel beyond what they have achieved. And these people have that spirit working in them because they have a doorway in their life that is wide open to be used by the devil to create roadblocks in your life, to create frustration towards progression in your life, to create an embargo against elevation and catapultation in your life. Beware of these people who get mad at you when you no longer need them, when you no longer borrow money from them, when you no longer let them bully you and control you and overrun you and push you around because you borrowed money from them. When you no longer do that anymore. When you're saying, I'd rather go without because God is my provider. Manna is not a thing of Exodus only. It's still a thing of the year 2021. I'm going to look out for the manna of God. I'm going to look out for the miracles of God. I'm going to look out for God to send an angel to strike a rock and issue out water from a rock. I'm going to look for God to release manna for the day, and I'll use what I need for the day, knowing that he'll release more tomorrow. I'm going to look for God. I'm no longer going to go to people, not because of pride, but because God has said to me, he's Jehovah Jireh. He's Jehovah, my provider. I'm going to look to God, and I'm no longer going to look to people, because people get tired, people get weary, people stop answering your calls, people get shady. The more you rely on them, people get shady. They don't just say, look, I'm tired, I've reached my point, please don't come to me again. They just don't answer your calls. They just keep saying, oh no, I don't have, when you know they have. And you're in the midst of a huge need and they tell you, oh no, I don't have, when you know they have. That's shady. That's dishonest. Don't get dishonest. Say, I've reached my limit with you. So don't call me again regarding borrowing money or a loan or whatever you need from me. Don't call me. I've reached my limit with you. I do want to be in friendship with you, but I've reached my limit in that regard. So if we can do that, great. Then I know you weren't using me for my money, But people don't do that. They just become shady. They duck and dive. They don't answer your calls. Beware of people who even get mad at you and become shady, and they don't want to, and they fail to communicate with you clearly about their limits that have been reached with you. Beware of people who get angry when you no longer ask them for things, and when you no longer particularly betray yourself to them, allowing them to abuse you at some level, whether they push you around, bully you, control you, manipulate you. Beware of people who get mad when you no longer allow them to manipulate you, but you're still saying, hey, I need help in this way. There's no payoff for them now. And they're going to say no. And when they do that, then you know that, oh, their payoff was that they wanted you to allow yourself to betray yourself and allow them to bully you, push you over, manipulate you, and just take over your life and push you around. But once you're no longer selling that as their payoff, then you are no longer supplied to them. So of course they're going to say no. And beware of these people. Do not go back to them. Go to God. Do not be angry at them. Forgive them, bless them, and release them and their riches and what they have been blessed with. Release them. You have a provider, and his name is Jehovah Jireh. He's Jehovah, your provider. You have a provider. You have a way out. He's a way maker, and he's given you 2 keys. The keys of David that open doors and they cannot be shut, that shut doors and they cannot be opened. And he's also given you the keys of the kingdom of heaven that bind and here on earth, and whatever's bound here on earth is bound in heaven. That loose here on earth, and whatever's loosed here on earth is also loosed in heaven. You have 2 keys. You have 2 keys to create access for yourself or to block things you no longer want in your life. So there's a way. And God has made a way in and through Christ to be able to say, I access these keys through Christ, and I open a door to opportunity. I open a door to finances. I open a door to riches and glory. I open a door to he being rich became poor so that I would be rich. Beware of people who don't want you to break the soul tie of being attached to them in a toxic way, or in a way where you are beneath and they are above. That's not a good soul tie. That's not a good soul connection. Beware of people who get mad when you break free from a negative and toxic soul tie, who become mad at you for breaking free and severing that tie. Beware of people when you end a trauma bond who get mad. A trauma bond is when people, let's look at 100%. Someone is toxic and mean towards you 95% of the time. Oh, but when they're nice and good to you, it's really, 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 really good, and it feels good and it feels amazing. So you hold on to that for years because you're waiting for that 5% when it's really good and it feels amazing. And a trauma bond is you being addicted to that 5% and selling yourself out for a 5%, but 95% of the time, this person is mean and toxic and obnoxious towards you. When you eventually say, I give up the 5% of when you're nice to me, I forego it because you just mean and toxic and obnoxious, and I'm not willing to live with the 95% of your toxicity. When you sever that tie, and people get mad at you and they withhold and they draw back on whatever they were giving you in order for you to sell yourself out to them, beware of these people. Stay away from them. Create distance and begin to rely on God. Look to God for all the things that you need, desire, and want. Because God is not a God of only just needs and only just enough. He's an abundant God. Look at his creation. He wouldn't have put gold, he wouldn't have put silver, he wouldn't have put minerals and platinum and precious stones in the earth and in oysters, things like pearls, if he wasn't an abundant and exponential God. He's an abundant and exponential God. He cannot run out. He creates by let the be. He doesn't create by having to go and work. Let the be. Rely on that God. And unseat every other God with a small g that you've placed in God's place. And restore G-O-D, capital G-O-D, to his place in your life as your provider, as your all. Beware of people who don't want to sever toxic soul ties and toxic trauma bonds with you. And when you do, they get angry at you and they withhold everything from you and turn their backs on you. Beware of these people. Stop running after them. They don't want you in your power. They want you in your weakness. They don't want you to walk in companionship with you in your power. They want to walk in companionship with you in your weakness. Beware of them. Stay away from them. Keep your distance. Pray for them. Bless them. Forgive them. Release them. And pray for them. Pray for them. Whenever God puts it in your heart to pray for them, whenever it comes up in your heart to pray for them, pray for them. Pray for them. And stand on God and rely on God. Set yourself free. I'd rather sleep under a bridge and in a car than be subject to oppression, manipulation, being pushed around, being bullied. You need to get to that point in your life that you'd rather sleep under a bridge in a car or just under a bridge than have to sell your soul out in order to have access to basics, in order to be helped. God is your helper. That's all I just wanted to share with you today. I hope that this blesses you. certainly blessed me. The more I realized this with each and every day, with each and every back I saw turned to myself, the more I started to show up in my power and not in my weakness, to relationships where formerly I was in weakness and people weren't necessarily happy for that power. And I'm not talking about obnoxious power. I'm just talking about, show up in your normal power that you're supposed to have. And when I saw that, I said, "Ooh, this is somebody I need to be beware. This is somebody I need to beware of." And I forgive them, bless them, and release them, but I can't be here. I gotta go because I cannot arrest my own development to please someone else. I hope you do the same too, you whom this message is meant for. Thank you for listening. I constantly appreciate you tuning in and coming back to this channel and leaving me wonderful messages 99.9% of the time. Now and then there's odd messages that I do delete, but for the most part, y'all are great and I thank you. And I appreciate you so much. So thank you for stopping by. I will see you again next time. Bye.